So, ocean lesions comes around 6% of the benign and around 0.5% of the malignant tumors in the hand. And this is our statistics from 2015 to 25, mostly on the phalanges. And fundamental for the diagnosis is the age and the location of the tumor. And in standard X-rays, it actually gives us the morphological information regarding the behavior of the tumor, that is aggressive or non-aggressive, and is managed depending upon the tumor of the behavior of the lesion. And coming to the patterns of the tumors, there is geographical pattern, which is well-defined and well-defined borders, maybe sclerosis there, or less defined mouth-eaten, which is of longer transition zone and less defined margin, and permeative lesions, which is much more sinister, which is poorly demarcated margins with a very long zone of transition. And other parameters like the tumor matrix, whether it's calcified or is it chondrogenous or osteogenic, or whether it's external or internal trabeculation like soap bubble appearance, especially in the GCT, or if there is cortical erosion or penetration or total expansion of the bone, or there is a periosteal response like Ottman's or an onion peel appearance, especially in Ewing sarcoma, and other soft tissue matters associated with the bony lesion. MRI is the best one to identify the tumors. And T1 weighted images actually gives the well-defined anatomy of the tumor and around the substrates of the tumors. And T2 is for the fluid-filled or fluid-sensitive tumors, identify what kind of matrix is inside. And if you're suspecting a metastasis, you could go for the bone scan and PET scan. And light lesions, whether to do biopsy or not do biopsies, all depend upon how aggressive this looks in the imaging, and always do a needle biopsy when you're in doubt, and it should be done after your imaging. And this is our algorithms. Benign small lesions, which is less than 2/3 of the diameter, curate and bone grafting, and anything more than that, or in the gestarticular, osteoarticular, metatarsal autograft, or phalangeal transfers. Enchondroma, it's the most common lesion. You can see on the proximal head of the metacarpal, intra image, curated, and that's a follow-up there, the X-ray. Another one is a simple bone cyst, curated, bone grafted, and that's the function. A larger lesions involving the whole diameter in the articular surface. You can see the large expansion lesion, multiple fluid layers in the MRI, and excised, and reconstructed with a non-vascularized metatarsal transfer. And that's a follow-up. Excellent result. And we have already published in our JHS. Another patient with 3-year swelling, Lytic, much more sinister, same technique. Another one is an osteochondroma, excised. So come to the phalangeal lesions. Small one, the same technique, we still use it. And if there's a malignant lesion, we go for the wide excision or amputation or ray ablation. Enchondroma on the phalanx, excised, taken the phalanx from the toe, reconstructed, and that's a follow-up. We have published in the HS this result. Another very huge swelling on the middle phalanx, middle finger proximal phalanx, 10 months of duration. That is the MRI. You can see the sinister appearance, excised with ray excision, and that's the follow-up. Another lesion on the middle phalanx, GCT, that's used with iliac crushed bone grafting, and that's a 1-year follow-up. Distal phalanx is funny. It looks like a glomus in the initial stage, but on close incision it was an osteodosteoma, a tumor at the distal phalanx, excised, and result was osteodosteoma. Another bizarre tumor on the distal phalanx of the thumb. Biopsy was GCT was atypical cell atypia, treated with excision and bone grafting. So this is our paper about the malignant tumors of the hand in 2011. We had around out of the 657, we had 39 tumors identified as malignant. And these are the statistics. And these were the tumors in our study. And we should always do not compromise excision on behalf of the reconstruction, always have good clearance. And this is the algorithm for excision and what level you have to excise. Examples, Ewing's. You can see we've been treated with amputation. Another with malignant melanoma with metastasis. Fungating GCT, treated with ray ablation. That's a follow-up. Unfortunately, the patient, even though had chemotherapy, developed progressive lung disease. Next one is a very huge tumor with the hand, and biopsy came as osteosarcoma. And next one is in a moth-eaten type in the proximal phalanx of the thumb. Very painful lesion is a adenocarcinoma with the acral metastasis. So this is our algorithm, basically. If there is a phalangeal one, benign, if it's less than 2/3, we usually go for curettage and bone grafting. If it's more, we always reconstruct with the toe phalanx. Malignant, based on the histology, ray excision, with or without neoadjuvant chemotherapy and post-adjuvant chemotherapy and radiotherapy. If it's metacarpal, it's the same, benign, less than 2/3 of the diameter, we'll go for CABG, or if it's more than 2/3 of the diameter, go for the metatarsal matched transfer. Malignant, depending upon the histology, either for ray excision, with or without neoadjuvant, post-adjuvant therapy, and chemoradiations. In summary, lytic lesions of bone are not uncommon in the hand, and the benign lesions are more common. Enchondromas are the commonest lytic lesion. Osteoarticular metatarsal or phalangeal replacement of benign lesion have been excellent results. In malignant lesions, resection should not be compromised for function. Thank you very much.